Christopher Karl from Plymouth, Ohio. Now we're making syrup. Basically, you find a good maple tree. You want to tap sugar maples. You can tap hard maples, soft maples, primarily silver maples or sugar maples. You usually get sap out of them when the weather warms up during the day to about 40 to 45 degrees, and at night when it gets down to freezing. Usually the sap will start. The tree gets pressure built in it and pushes the sap. And primarily, what this is doing is trying to push the sap to the buds to help it bud in the spring. But the little bit of sap that we take out really does not have an effect on it. And then we bring that over to the shed here and we put it in through a reverse osmosis system. What that does is it separates half of the water out of the sap. So we go from about 2% sap water coming out of the tree, we take that up to about 4.5 or 5%. You want 66% for syrup, so your boiling time essentially gets cut in about half. Now we're boiling closer to the heat on the end, down by the doors, but back here it's still steaming, and it boils and fluctuates and moves around, and I can boil about 20 to 25 gallon an hour off. And I add one secret ingredient. It's kind of my hallmark thing. My uncle used to make syrup, and he always told me if you want to keep the sap from bubbling up, take a little bit of butter to run around the outside of the pan, and that'll keep it from bubbling up. A lot of guys use defoamer. Well, I got the brainy idea one night. I was out here boiling and got a little tired, and I dropped a whole stick of butter into the batch. And so now my signature thing is I drop a stick of butter in every batch I do. And I've got a couple neighbors that really think that that's something. This evaporator actually has quite a history in my family. From what we can figure out, it's about 105 years old. And this evaporator recently was on the property of my great uncle. It was used by my great grandfather up until about 70 when he passed away, and it had sat in the woods. My great uncle didn't use it much afterwards, and kind of set in. The sugar camp fell down around it, and the frame, I got the frame in the arch, and I brought it over here in the driveway and redid it, sandblasted it, repainted it, and instead of using wood, I did not want to put a chimney up in my building here, so I used a propane burner. And I fire with a 440,000 BTU torpedo burner. I do it because I love to be outside. I do it because instead of golfing, instead of pulling tractors, instead of redoing old tractors, I enjoy this. I enjoy the heritage, I enjoy the nostalgia, and just the simple fact that I'm tapping some of the same trees that my great grandpa and my great uncle tapped.